It's the second round of the NHL playoffs, and things are getting wild. You got Edmonton turning over in the defensive zone, leaving Skinner out to dry. The Boston Bruins can't even shoot the goddamn puck, and all this is going on while the Rangers managed to let Carolina steal a game from them. And we're going to cover all of it next here on The Crease. Welcome into The Crease. Before we get into all of that great NHL playoff action I just broke down for you, we're going to talk about one of our sponsors, and that is Vivid Seats. If you want to go see some of these games live in person to root on your team, the NBA playoffs are going on right now. Baseball's in full swing. Don't worry, NFL preseason will be here soon enough for you to go check out all of those events and more. Maybe you want to go see a concert or a show. Vivid Seats has all the tickets for you. So go to Vivid Seats, use the link in the description of this video, and go live vividly. Now, I don't even know where to start. I really don't. I feel like a part of me wants to go ahead and kick this off with the Boston series.
No, I want to see the vitriol. I want to see the built-up vitriol. So we can start. Let's start with either Carolina and New York, or Edmonton, Vancouver. Actually, let's do our favorite teams second to last, and we'll do the teams we don't care about.
Okay. I'm good with that. So we'll start in the West. We'll talk about Vancouver and Edmonton, and we cannot say enough about just how damn good the Vancouver still is, and how Edmonton's they're glaring issues, man. We always thought they could outscore them, and all I saw for maybe a period of hockey last night was that Edmonton defensively forgets how to play hockey. And I say that not from the idea of they don't play good defense. It's when they finally get the puck in their defensive zone, they don't know what to do with it. And in fact, the only thing they can do with it is give it right back to Vancouver, because that's what they consistently did. Not to mention, Vancouver came out in that game and absolutely looked like they wanted to just beat the shit out of Edmonton on their own ice. And that's what they did from the puck drop. Vancouver beat the hell out of them. All right? Every chance they got. And Brock Boeser is a bona fide goal getter. That guy is just that guy wakes up, pisses excellence and puts pucks in the back of the net. Let's be real. What has he got? 2 hat tricks this season already? 2 hat tricks already? Are you kidding me? In the postseason. He's only played 6 games. He's got 2 hat tricks. That's a 33% hat trick. That's how often it is. 33% of the time, the man is going to go out there and score 3 goals. He did it in the first period last night. Are you kidding me? And the craziest thing is, they still only won 4-3.
And got outshot horrendously. Hey, Boston Bruins, take notes.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. So realistically, I believe what I believed at the beginning of the series. I believe that Stuart Skinner was a good enough goalie for Edmonton to win this series. And I still believe that. I still believe that Stuart Skinner is a good enough goalie for them to win this series. I do not blame him.
It's not his fault.
For the absolute atrocities that his defenders set him up for. Like, that team, every chance they got to turn that puck over in the defensive zone in the first period, they absolutely did it.
It's not his fault Darnell Nurse is allowed on the ice.
Oh my God, terrible. Absolutely terrible. And yet, here we are. Vancouver's up 2-1, and if Edmonton doesn't figure it out in the defensive zone, and if I'm no block, I am up their ass, because you absolutely let Vancouver get away with one. You gave them the goal. You pretty much handed Boeser his hat trick.
Handed them the win. Handed them the win.
Yeah. And the win. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't. Because you look at the stats, and Vancouver shouldn't have won that game. They shouldn't have come close.
No.
Edmonton shelled them. But what Edmonton likes to do, is they cannot play defense at all. And we saw that the other night against Vancouver. Vancouver was more opportunistic. Vancouver got shelled in the third period. It was kind of even throughout the game, and then Edmonton decided we can't lose. And to their credit, they showed up, but you only showed up for one period. You kept turning the puck over in your own zone. You kept turning the puck over to Pius Suter, JT Miller, and Brock Besser. You cannot turn the puck over to JT Miller and Brock Besser. Because if you turn it over to those guys, they will kill you. They are the best players on the Canucks right now. Brock Besser scored, I don't know, I think he scored above 40 this year. And those, I know 7 playoffs already. Yeah, he's got 7 playoff goals, 11 points in 9 games. So he's passing the puck a little bit too. He's above a point per game, almost a goal per game. He scored 40 this year. I was right on the money. He scored 40 goals. JT Miller is a strong two-way player who will make you pay for your mistakes. And that's all Edmonton does in the defensive zone, is make mistakes. I don't care how good Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are. If you cannot get out of the D zone and they can't get up the ice and score, it's pointless. Artur Shilovs has looked very good. I think that's partly because the way Vancouver's forcing Edmonton to shoot from the perimeter. I saw this in the Avalanche game, the Stars-Avs game 3. The reason I don't say it was as much of a Jake Ottinger steal is because, but that's not what we're talking about. It's kind of the same. They were limiting Edmonton's quality shots, and they were making them take shots from outer space, whereas Brock Besser, Elias Lindholm, Vancouver's 2 goal scorers, they were getting close to the net up tight, and they were getting quality chances. It's a case of quality over quantity, and in this case, Vancouver was getting quality play, something Edmonton just hasn't been able to do. And you still employed Darnell Nurse on an $8 million plus deal, and you employ him to play defenseman. That's not going to cut it. You're not going to get it done. This series is nowhere near Stuart Skinner's fault because his defense has left him out to dry.
And the funny thing is, even at the beginning of this game, they were talking about Stuart Skinner, and they were like, oh, he's really had a bad series. I mean, he hasn't had a terrible series. You watch that game, and you're like, if you came away from Game 3 in this series thinking that Stuart Skinner is a problem, you need to take a long look in the mirror in what you believe good defensive hockey looks like. All right? You need to you need to understand what puck control in your defensive zone looks like, because you and the Edmonton Oilers have no idea what it looks like. You know what Stuart Skinner has nightmares about? The people in front of him on his
Darnell
own team.
Nurse.
Turning the fucking puck over. That's what happens. And I owe Brock Besser an apology. I pronounced your name wrong multiple times, and Ian did not correct me once because he knows I'm uncultured, and that's how I roll, because it doesn't matter. I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, and it's okay because my name gets pronounced wrong all the time too, and you'd think I'd be better than that, but you know what? I'm not, because I'm a piece of trash. I'm a garbage person.
Well, so, you are a Bruins
Besser,
fan.
I'm sorry. I am. But at least I own it, and I apologize when I'm wrong. So, we're going to move over to the East because we agreed to keep the Stars and the Bruins for last. As I'm still smoldering about my Bruins, we'll talk about them very, very shortly. Just you wait and see. We're going to go and talk about the Rangers in Carolina. Now, as we're recording this, Game 6 is in full swing, or Game 5 is in full swing. It's a 0-0 tie right now. We'll keep you updated on that score here, as it may change our takes. But the Rangers lit the Hurricanes get one. And this series has been very tight. I mean, Game 2 went to double OT. Game 3 went to OT. Game 4 was a one-goal game. They've all been one-goal games. They've been 3-4, 3-4, 3-2, 4-3. That's how it's gone. And right now they're in a 0-0 tie. So this is one of the lower scoring games currently. And, you know, Carolina's holding on for dear life. I still don't think they make it out of this series, but the Rangers kind of playing with their food a little bit here. I thought that they probably could have went and just absolutely swept Carolina. Carolina, for all of their credit, they got good hockey players, and they're putting up a hell of a fight. They just happen to be playing kind of the best team in the NHL right now. I mean, they won the President's Trophy. That is, tells you everything you need to know about who the Rangers are. And unlike, more recent President's Trophies winners, the Bruins, they actually look the part in the playoffs. They're not getting out. They destroyed the Capitals, and they're pretty much handling the Canes. And I have a feeling when they face Florida, they're probably going to handle Florida.
Joe, that's a take. That's a take for sure, Joe.
Right, we're going to get into it right now. That Bruins-Florida series should be 2-2. You know it, and I know it. It should be 2-2.
I thought we were talking about Carolina and the Rangers.
We are, but you're giving the Florida Panthers too much credit.
We can talk about Florida Boston.
We'll get in there
last. We'll get there last.
The Rangers are a step above every team in the East. I think they're probably a step above every team in the West. I think the Rangers will be one of the first team in a long ass time, and I'm going to continue to say this, even though Gage, who couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to make it known that, he will and for always say, fuck the New York Rangers, because that's just who he is, and he's a New Jersey Devils
and he'll
fan,
say
so
Oilers in 7, but
he also said Oilers
to
in
that,
7.
But to that I reply, get the whipped cream ready to kiss my feet.
Because you need that special topping on top. That's still so.
I said I'd be saying some out-of-pocket stuff on this podcast, and when we get along this segment,
stuff last week, and now you're saying out-of-pocket stuff this week. Either way, but the Rangers are a step above, and I think that that's the case. I don't see them going past Game 6 in any series. They're going to win every series in 6 games. New York Rangers fans, as a Boston fan, if this is a jinx, you deserve it, because once again, I echo Gage's terminology, fuck the New York Rangers, purely for my Boston fandom. However, I actually wholeheartedly believe that the New York Rangers are going to end up hoisting the Stanley Cup right next to the President's Trophy for sure this year. It's happening. I just don't see a team outside of, I think Vancouver's got the offense, could probably play with them. I think the Dallas Stars could play with them. That series, Edmonton's clearly got some problems that just keep showing up.
If Edmonton goes to the Cup final, it's over with. New York sweeping.
For sure. So I think I don't give Carolina enough credit, and that's my fault. The big thing about Carolina that always kills me is that they quietly win hockey games. They're not really flashy about it. You don't.
No, they're not.
They got like Aho and they're a solid team. But they don't really have that pizzazz, that pop that I'm looking for to really be like a solid contender. They remind me a little bit of the Toronto Maple Leafs without like the true top line star power. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's right fully. I'd say they're probably they're a more jacked up version of the New York Islanders in terms of star power, and they kind of play similarly. And there goes Jack Drury. My problem when it comes to Carolina is they're a great team. They take good shots and they take a lot of shots, but they don't look for better shots. They don't try to create better shots. And when you don't try to do that, you become predictable. Especially when you play a team like the New York Rangers, when all Shesty has to do is say, oh, he's got the puck. He's either passing it over here, or he's going to take a shot or he's going to take a low shot and I just got to get in the butterfly. Shesty's been great in this series, don't get me wrong. Carolina hasn't impressed me. The way they play, they kind of make it harder on themselves because they don't look for better opportunities, because they don't try to create those better opportunities. And that's kind of been my frustration with them since 2021. Great team, great regular season team that will go and win their fair share of playoff hockey games. They gotta try to do something different if they want to win a cup, because this isn't working. This just isn't working. And credit to the New York Rangers. I don't think they'll beat Florida, and we'll get to that last. But it's just, this series will be over in 6.
Yeah, I don't see a way this
and shorthanded goal for the New York Rangers. I believe that's Jacob Trouba.
It is Jacob Trouba. So the Rangers are up 1-0, just about at the midway point of the second. And it is a shorthanded goal by Trouba. And this just goes what we're saying. Like, I honestly don't see them going in a series going past 6. I just don't. And it's, like you said, Carolina, like I said, they're not flashy. They don't really impress you. They do take a lot of shots, but, I mean, I guess the one thing, and I'll talk about it later, would you prefer to have more shots but lower quality shots, or less shots but higher quality shots? And it's up your scoring chance. You got to take your pick, right? And honestly,
less shots of higher quality. I've seen it happen over and over in these playoffs, in the Vegas-Dallas series, and then yesterday in this Colorado-Dallas series. That's how playoff hockey works. Why do you think the Pittsburgh Penguins kept beating the Washington Capitals?
I mean, you're not wrong, but there's a certain point where you still have to take a decent amount of chances, right? You need to be like
But they've been getting decent chances. That's all they get, those decent chances. They don't get great chances.
And is that the shot selection, or is that the players? I mean, there's a certain point in time where you look at some of these other teams. I mean, I don't know.
I'd have to go towards a shot selection, because when you have Brent Burns, as old as he is, when you have Jake Gensel, when you have Sebastian Aho, and you have Marty Necas and Teuvo Teravainen, and Evgeny Kuznetsov, who is Flash. He is all Flash. You have no excuse to be taking only decent shots. You have creators. Create with them.
I mean, so in the game they won, they only took 31 shots to the Rangers 25. So they were pretty comparable in shots on goal. That's, so I don't know, man. It seems like it's one of those things like you're reaching for answers if you're an Avs or if you're a Hurricanes fan. But at the end of the day, I mean, something's got to give here, man. And they could be a similar, like, you're a playoff team, but you're always you're the American version, the United States version of the Maple Leafs, right? Like you've at least won a Stanley recently, enough, But at the end of the day, your last couple of playoff appearances have all been kind of the same thing. Second round here that's how
they should have gone out and gotten Jack Eichel when they could.
But we will move on to the Dallas Stars Avalanche series.
Hey, it's me and Carl's favorite series, or maybe it's not Carl's favorite series.
No, not right now. As the Dallas Stars currently have a 2-1 lead, they will be facing the Avalanche later tonight as we are recording this video. So this could change post-video recording, obviously. The Stars have called what was a very potent Avalanche offense. The Avalanche have not scored more than 4 goals in this series after coming out of a series in which they scored no less than 5 in every single game. And
they also haven't had a lead at any point in any of the games.
Yes, they've been coming from behind the entire time. Dallas just looks like they're on it right now. They're playing the style of hockey that we knew they were capable of. We were curious how the goaltending was going to actually work for the Avalanche, as the weakest part of that team happens to be in the crease. They are what everyone thought Edmonton was. What I think this series with Vancouver has proven that Edmonton is not. I think that Stuart Skinner is better than anyone the Avs have to put in net.
Oh, you put Stuart Skinner in that net? He's stealing games for the Avalanche.
Oh, absolutely. With the defense they have, he's absolutely stealing games. I think this is a totally different series with even competent goalie play. And the Avs are showing that right now. You're seeing that your weakest link is keeping pucks out of the net. And when you face a good defensive team like the Stars are, you're going to run into problems. I mean, you got lucky. Winnipeg, we all knew Winnipeg was not a good defensive team. We knew that their plus minus over the season was and how many goals against per goals for was purely a result of Connor Hellebuyck. You knew that. And you knew that all you had to do is outscore your problems and you would win. And that's what they did.
Outscore your problems on a team with only one defenseman.
Yeah. And now they're facing a team that plays solid defensively, has a competent goaltender, right? And honestly, like, you as Colorado, I don't think you're winning this series. I think the way this series has looked right now, and Ian, I'm not jinxing them, I swear, knock on wood.
I really hope you're not a monkey's paw right now, Joe.
I think that the Stars don't lose another game in this series. I think the Stars win in 5. They take both games in Colorado. They go back home for game 5 and close them out. I honestly believe that because the Avalanche have nothing right now. They don't have what they look like against Winnipeg. And once again, it's because Winnipeg, we said it all season.
Winnipeg can keep up with their speed.
Yeah. And like I said, Dallas, they play that style. They got the guys. They do. And I think at this point, Colorado's looking right now and in the offseason and go, we need to get a goalkeeper. We need a goalie. We need someone to man the crease. And, I mean, there's some names out there. I think they're going to have to trade for somebody.
Why not?
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe Allmark. I mean, hell, if Edmonton thinks it's a Stuart Skinner problem, go get Stuart Skinner. He proved he's competent this year.
I don't think they'll move Skinner, to be honest.
He'd be the cheapest option. He would be the cheapest option for what it's going to cost you.
True. Listen, Georgiev is not a good goaltender. I haven't been sold on him since he was in New York. I don't think this series is necessarily all on him, though. It
No.
can't be all on him because
You don't want
what
it.
I've learned with the Avalanche is the Colorado Avalanche play a double-edged hockey game, and what I mean by that is they live by a double-edged sword. Their play style they will live by and they die by. Their play style leads to extremely explosive offense. However, I've seen twice where three times. Well, Seattle didn't really neutralize their offense. They really just forechecked them to death. This is kind of the way Vegas beat them in 2021, which makes sense because Vegas had employed the same system that the Stars play now because they were coached by the same guy in Peter DeBoer. What it is Dallas has held they didn't do it in games 1 and 2. They held Vegas to the perimeter, and I alluded to it earlier. They held them to the corners of the offensive zone. They held them to the perimeter. They couldn't get to the middle. They couldn't make any passes, and Dallas was just cutting them off. They're saying, okay, you want to come rush down the ice? Okay, we'll bring 4 guys back. You can have the wings, and you will not have the middle. You will not get the middle, and as soon as Dallas got the puck, they were flying up the ice. They had 2 or 3 guys flying up the ice every time. Guys like Logan Stankoven, Tyler Seguin, and Evgeny Dodonov were loose all game, and Sam Steele. The other problem, and I noticed this early in this series with Colorado in Game 1, Colorado likes to play a system where their defensemen aggressively pinch. And when your defenseman aggressively pinches, it leads to 1 or 2 outcomes. You'll either go on a 4-man attack in the offensive zone, or you'll leave 1 defenseman in the middle of the ice out to dry while 2 wingers shoot up the ice, and you're left on an odd man rush. No goalie. I don't care who you are. You can be Igor Shesterkin, and you won't be able to survive that when it happens time after time after time. You will stop the majority of those opportunities. You will not stop all of them, and that's what's killing Colorado. And the other part, they just straight gave up. I've never seen Cale Makar look this lifeless in a series. Outside of Game 1, he's looked lifeless. He's been held without a point since Game 1, and if you're a Colorado fan, that should be concerning. He hasn't looked great. Nathan McKinnon has been held to the outside. Mikko Rantanen's probably their most effective player. He scares me every time he has the puck. So does McKinnon, and obviously Makar, but I don't know. I'm not making a prediction, though. I'm not jinxing my team. I'm not jinxing my boys. Not going to do that. All I'm going to do is hope and pray for the best because that's all I can do. No predictions from me, though.
Well, I'll go ahead, and I already made mine. I don't think the Stars lose another game in this series. But we'll go ahead and get over to the series, and everyone wants to wait and see how much of a meltdown about that. Here we go. We're going to get into it, all right?
You mind if I go first so I can let you let out all your anger?
Go ahead.
Because I want to give you the floor.
Break it down.
Oh, Joe, I'm so sorry, but not really. Boston, they look gassed. That was a tough 7-game series. The winner of that series was going to beat Florida, let's be honest. Granted, that was goaltender interference at its peak.
100%.
But let's be real, you weren't winning that game. Florida was getting the quantity of shots and the quality shots. And when they can match you in quality and they're still getting the numbers on their side, you deserve to lose. Florida has not only been the far superior team, they've made the Bruins look much worse. Bob's playing out of his mind. This series is nowhere near Jeremy Swayman's fault, in my opinion. This series is nowhere near Jeremy Swayman's fault, and it's just a shame. It's a crying shame. I just feel so bad for Bruins fans and Boston sports fans in general with how unfair it is. You guys haven't seen a title since 2018. Did you know there are kindergartners that haven't seen Boston sports win a title? It's a shame. I just feel so bad for you. But honestly, that's my analysis, Joe. The floor is yours.
The Boston Bruins in these playoffs when having 25 plus shots on goal. Do you know what the record is, Ian? They are 4-2. 4-2. I'll go ahead and give it. They're 4-2, Ian. Do you know what they are when they shoot 25 or less? I'll go ahead and tell you. Yeah, they're 1-4. In fact, the only game they won in this series, they had 29 shots on goal, and they were outshot on goal by 10. The Panthers had 39, and Jeremy Swayman made 38 saves and allowed 1 goal. The man has had a plus 900 save percentage in every single game he has played, because he is literally getting bombarded with hockey pucks. Okay, I actually have every single game they've played up right now. 36 shots on goal. Jeremy Swayman, a .972 percentage in game 1 against the Leafs. He had a, let's see, where's it at?
Let the hate flow through you.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. None. No sense. You have this kind of problem. All right? And here's the crazy thing. In game 1 against Florida, they had 29 shots on goal. Game 2, 15, they lost 1-6. Game 3, 17, they lost 6-2. Game 4, 18-41, they lost 3-2. So this kind of goes back to your argument about quality shots. Sure, they getting quality shots because you score 2 goals on 17 shots on goal. God damn if that's not quality. Those are high percentage shots. But you know, at the end of the fucking day, what high percentage shots don't get you, Ian? Apparently a W. Because you keep fucking losing. All right, now,
remember what I said though. Florida's been getting the same quality shots, and when you get the numbers, you're not gonna win.
And here's the problem. All right, I already know that Game 5, this series is done.
I hope it's an 8-0 win for Florida.
I just hope that every single chance they have to get a penalty minute, it's a hit on Sam Bennett. I hope
he is in your head. This man is the Florida version, is Boston fans' version of Brad Marchand.
This man, no, because Brad Marchand will do some fucking, he'd get under your skin and shit like that. You know what Brad Marchand doesn't do?
He plays dirty. He has licked a man in the face. He has slew-footed people over his career, and he has been a dirty player his entire career. And when he gets punched once, and this is gold.
Sucker punches this guy. Gets talked.
I saw the highlight.
He gets then pulled out after the game and gets talked to by the NHL. Then comes in and gives someone a check in the back into the goalie.
And scored a goal.
Scores a goal. It gets reviewed. One of the longest reviews I have seen. And they say the goal stands. This man in 2 games has sucker punched our captain, cross-checked Charlie Coyle into Jeremy Swayman, and then he had the audacity to say, yeah, I know it wasn't getting overturned because I was putting that puck in the net whether Swayman had someone laying him on him or not. He wasn't getting back to that. Sure, bud.
That's funny.
But I want him to beat his ass. I want Maroon to beat his ass. And I know he won't because Maroon believes that no one on that team will fight him.
They don't have to.
They don't have to, but I want them to. I want Sam.
That's a penalty, but okay. Anyhow, no, he doesn't have to. Just because you said that, Sam Bennett's going to score a hat trick.
I fucking hope so. And I hope every single time he gets smoked.
They're in Florida. The fans will be cheering. They're going to be in Florida.
I mean, it's over. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't see this going back to Boston regardless, but you better get something out of it.
I said this on the chat. The Panthers took ownership of Florida, and apparently the Lightning passed the torch. It came with a
lease for Boston, yeah.
The Lightning passed the torch to the Panthers and gave them their owners and gave them the ownership of the Bruins too. I don't know what it is, but apparently Boston can't beat teams from Florida in the playoffs.
Apparently not. Apparently the fuck not. They sure handled them in the regular season. They didn't lose a fucking game to these clowns, but you know what? Somehow they forgot to shoot the... I mean, when you have your own fans, you're at home, and they're chanting, shoot the puck, and booing you with 8 minutes left in the third because you haven't shot... I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever that in 60 minutes of hockey, you didn't even manage to take a shot once every 3 minutes. How, like, I want to Google something real quick. Give me 5 seconds. The average shift time in the NHL is 47 seconds. You, the Boston Bruins, have managed to take a shot once every fourth shift. Once every fourth shift. You get a shot.
And how does that make you feel, Joe?
I think that I think Biz said it the best. I didn't know the Providence Bruins showed up to this fucking playoff series because that's what they look like. They honestly look like they don't. Don't do the
Providence Bruins like that.
Probably not, because I think the Providence Bruins probably would take more shots. They probably get.
They would have gotten more than 18. You had quality looks. You had looks. You could have shot 17. From the point, gotten a deflection.
15, 17, and 18. That's how many shots they've taken in the last 3 games.
Florida's the most difficult team to shoot against in the playoffs, but
50 shots in 3 games, 3 hours? 3 hours! You didn't even average a shot every 3 minutes. Like, what the?
Them's the harsh realities of hockey.
I mean, I want to add up through the first 2 rounds, and I think I might do it and make a post.
Also,
just
how
to see who's had the fewest amount of shots in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and what like the shots on goal in the first round of the playoffs, and what like the lowest number ever was. And I feel like these fucking Bruins are right there, buddy. I really do.
Haven't you guys also been out hit by the Panthers this entire series?
Let's see here.
Look that up.
We got him in game 4. We out hit him in game 3. We out hit him in game 2, and they out hit us. We out hit them in game 1. They out hit us in game 2. We out hit them in game 3 and game 4.
What?
Yep. 46-41 in game 4. 45-42 in game 3. They got us in game 2, 65-60, and they got out hit 56-46 in game 1. But at the end of the day, we knew this was going to happen. The Boston Bruins did not have a team. They gave up too many third period leads in the regular season. They couldn't close out games. You relied too much on the perfection of Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark. You saw that by how low their save percentages had become because you had young defensemen learning, how to play professional hockey. And at the end of the day, that is not the recipe for a playoff team. So the fact you managed to once again send Leafs and Toronto's fans into an off season of therapy, congratulations. That was all you were ever going to do. That's all I got for this series. I mean, it blows my mind that you can't even shoot the puck.
Can't even muster shots.
Like 3 games, you didn't even average a shot every 3 minutes. That is by far the most just despicable, terrible thing I've ever seen from a playoff hockey team. Terrible. Panthers in 5.
Okay, so we're going back to the Stars Avalanche series. This was just reported by Chris Johnston on Twitter. This is a reliable source because Chris Johnston, outside of Elliot Friedman, is probably their most reliable hockey source. Great journalist. Valeri Nichushkin has been placed in Stage 3 of the NHLPA Player Assistance Program, which comes with a minimum 6-month suspension without pay before he's eligible to apply for reinstatement. From Chris Johnston.
Hey, so the Dallas Stars aren't losing another game in this.
Colorado, you're down Jonathan Drouin, and Val Nichushkin was one of your most effective forwards. What are you gonna do here? What are you gonna do here? Drouin's out. Who else do you have? Let me look at their stats. Real quick. I'm pretty sure Val Nichushkin was their second most effective forward. Val Nichushkin was their 3rd best forward behind McKinnon and Rantanen. Landeskog ain't coming back anytime soon.
It's over.
Middle stat's been busy nothing all series, and you can't get production from anyone else. Oh wow, that was a blow that you could not afford.
Done.
That's a blow you cannot afford if you're Colorado.
I said it before I even knew that he wasn't going to be there, right? That they weren't losing another game in this series. And guess what?
You just lost your third best forward, arguably one of your best playoff players, if not your best playoff player right now, and your best defensive forward. You were already having trouble playing a lick of defense in this series, and you lost your best defensive forward. Carl,
oh man,
pop some bottles. It's going to be a long off season for you. And don't take that as just pop a can of beer. I just felt like I should say that just because YouTube might get all sensitive on us.
Right. Oh man.
Now pour one out for your Avalanche, Carl.
Avalanche, you're cooked. Fucking
Avalanche, you're
cooked.
Avalanche, you're cooked like the Bruins. You and the Bruins can go enjoy Galveston. In the words of Charles Barkley, we sending them to Galveston.
Yeah.
We sending you to Galveston. You could drive to Galveston. Hey, if you get eliminated in Dallas, just take a Greyhound to Galveston. Boston, you can buy the hotels because they at least get shots on goal. So you have to pay for the hotels, Boston. We sending y'all to Galveston.
Jesus. So terrible.
Anyhow, that's what I had to report. But that's not good. That's not good if you're the Avalanche. You don't want to see that at all.
Yeah, no. Well, that's how these series shake out. It looks like it's going to be a Stars and possibly Vancouver Western Conference Finals and a Florida Panther New York Ranger Eastern Conference Finals, unless something insane happens, but I doubt it. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on all of our social media platforms. That's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Spotify. You can check out all the other house call offerings. They are listed on our YouTube page. Also, be sure to share, grow the community. And I want to go ahead and announce it now. In the off season, we will be presenting our new segment called Hockey 101, where we'll be breaking down all of the rules and play styles of professional hockey to help grow the hockey community and get more people interested. So
make
you have a friend who want to get into hockey, we're going to make you more knowledgeable. We're going to put the knowledge out there. So be looking for that this offseason as the playoffs wind down. I want to go ahead and put that out there, get you guys hyped for it. It will be coming soon. Until then, this has been the